Hello, everybody. I hope you are ready for another fresh helping of encouraging words. Today, our encouraging words will come from Romans 15 and verse 4. But before I read it, I do want to say to all of you, there may come a point here in this encouraging words where you think, this guy has left the farm, he's off track, this isn't encouraging, but I want you to bear with me. I'm gonna get us home, I promise. So Romans 15 and verse 4 says, "For whatever things were written before were written for our learning, that we, through the patience and the comfort of the Scriptures, might have hope." I am going through my daily Bible reading, and so I'm in the Old Testament, and that's what Romans 15:4 is about. The things that were written before were written for our learning. That's the Old Testament, and so I'm in that place now where most Bible readers trying to read through the year just give up. The reading, I don't want you to get me wrong, the reading is wonderful, so detailed about the days of Moses and the giving of the law, the many requirements that were given to the children of Israel. It's also very cumbersome and difficult to get through. There's just so many names that I can't pronounce in so many places that we can't even find on a map today. So I'm reading in number 7 just a few days ago, and I just want to tell you, number seven is rough. If you want to make your eyes cross, or if you're struggling with insomnia and you need to find a way to get some rest, read Numbers 7. In this chapter, Moses has finally finished setting up the tabernacle. He has anointed and consecrated the tabernacle and all of its furnishings, and the altar with all of its utensils. Right after that is said to us, the leaders of each tribe bring an offering to Moses for the tabernacle. One leader at a time comes one day at a time to offer their offering to the Lord. And so number 7 and verse 10, I want to pick up here and just read this to you because this is where I was just a few days ago. Number 7 and verse 10, it says, "Now the leaders offered the dedication offering for the altar when it was anointed. So the leaders offered their offering before the altar." So there we have it. That sets us up. "For the Lord said to Moses, they shall offer their offering 1 liter each day for the dedication of the altar. And the one who offered his offering on the first day was Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, from the tribe of Judah. His offering was 1 silver platter, the weight of which was 130 shekels, and 1 silver bowl of 70 shekels, according to the shekel of the sanctuary, both of them full of fine flour mixed with oil as a grain offering. 1 gold pan of 10 shekels, full of incense, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 1 male lamb in its first year as a burnt offering. 1 kid of the goats as a sin offering, and for the sacrifice of peace offerings, 2 oxen, 5 rams, 5 male goats, and 5 male lambs in their first year. This was the offering of Nahshon, the son of Amminadab." And so that's verses 11 through 17 in Numbers chapter 7. So after reading that, I was just thinking to myself, man, that's pretty cool. This leader, Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, the leader of the tribe of Judah, he has come here and selected these special items and presented them in such a way that seems to be very thoughtful, that there's an order to it. There's gold, there's silver, there's flour, there's oil. It's got all these different things. And then the listing of the animals that were going to be offered, the oxen and the lamb, all of 1 year, all of that was very interesting to me. And I thought, man, that's really cool. This is going to be quite an event. The problem is, number 7 takes us through all 12 tribes offering the same exact gift. You would think that if the writer's trying to save a little bit of ink, the writer's Moses, trying to save a little bit of ink, he could have given us those verses for Nahshon, the son of Amminadab, and then just said, and the other 11 tribes did exactly the same thing. And that'd be the end of that chapter. That'd be the end of Numbers chapter 7. But that is not what Moses did. He goes each name, each leader, who their father was, and then what they presented. And it is exactly the same items in exactly the same order. It is rough. There are 89 verses in Numbers chapter 7. And so, hey, I'm reading through the Bible. I am pressing on. I get to Numbers 8, where there's talk about the arrangement of the lamps, the cleansing of the dedication of the Levites, and the proper ceremonial services that they were engaged in. Numbers 9, the Israelites keep the Passover for the second time on the proper days and for the proper amounts of time. And that's wonderful. We love to see them being obedient to God's will. There's a brief explanation in Numbers chapter 9 about the pillar of cloud and the pillar of fire. We're told that God's presence is above the tabernacle in the form of a pillar of cloud by day and a pillar of fire by night. Anytime the pillar of cloud was taken up from above the tabernacle, The people journeyed. So there's a good explanation there of how they moved and when they moved. Numbers 10 describes the 2 silver trumpets that were to be used to call the congregation together and to move the camps. The cloud is taken up from the tabernacle in Numbers chapter 10, and the people journey following the cloud. Really, in Numbers 10, it's for the very first time leaving Mount Sinai. All the tribes are named, and all the men who are over their armies of each tribe is named. So it's the same thing. We go through the tribes. Same men, same names. They're given to us one at a time as they depart and leave Sinai. So, with all the honesty in my heart at this point, in my reading, I'm thinking, I can't do this. I want to read the entire Bible and allow the Lord to speak to me each day this year with purposeful Bible reading, and I'm determined to do that, but I'm starting to fade. And then I saw Numbers chapter 11. You know what the subtitle above Numbers chapter 11 says in my Bible? Well, you probably don't because you're not looking at my Bible. But the subtitle above Numbers 11 in my Bible says this: The people complain. Oh, man. I thought I was in the middle of saying, I'm not sure I can do this. Lord, I know you want me to. I'm getting tired. I can't focus on all these names. I'm trying so hard. And I found myself complaining right at the time that these people turned their back on God. And so guess who's back on track for his daily Bible reading? In Numbers 11, they say to Moses, we are tired of this bread. We want meat. Now, I'm not going to be like them. I'm not going to complain. And I assure you, I'm not complaining now. But honestly, that's probably the same way that some of the Israelites complained to Moses. Look, Moses, I'm not complaining, but can we go back to Egypt? We don't have any meat out here and we don't have any water and this is just too hard. Listen, I talked to the others and we just want to go back into Egyptian bondage. Would that be okay, Moses? Saying you're not complaining while complaining is, you guessed it, complaining. So that's not me, folks. I am going to do it. Romans 15:4 and the instruction that we see in 1 Corinthians chapter 10 both show us how our understanding of the Old Testament is vitally important to our faith in God and the great patience and the comfort that is given to us through those scriptures when we read them faithfully. Why does the Lord want a New Testament Christian to read through the Old Testament and come across names that he can never properly pronounce? I'll tell you why. These people who lived 3,000 and 4,000 years ago are very important to God. They lived long ago, and yet he wants me and he wants you to read and to know their names. He wants me to watch the success of their faithfulness and to learn from the failures of their disobedience. And he wants me and you to make a decision about who we're going to be today. Peter tells us that with the Lord, one day is as 1,000 years, and 1,000 years is as one day in 2 Peter. They are all very important to God, just as we're important to him. He's not bound by time, and I want him to have that same kind of love and affection for me after I pass from this earthly life. I don't want time to limit his love and affection for me, no matter how much time has passed on the earth after I'm gone. I want to know God, and I want to know that he knows me. The encouraging word today ensures each one of us that God loves you. He knows your name, and he doesn't want you to worry as long as you are faithful to him. Jesus says to us in Luke chapter 12, verses 6 and 7, "Are not 5 sparrows sold for 2 copper coins, and not one of them is forgotten by God? But the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Do not fear, therefore. You are of more value than many sparrows." Jesus says something that's very interesting, and I think sometimes we misinterpret or misunderstand what he's saying. He says to us, the very hairs of your head are all numbered. Typically, we think of that as being, he knows the number of hairs on my head. But of course, that's true. That's not what Jesus is saying. All of the hairs of your head are numbered, which means he knows where each hair is and he knows which number that hair is. And that's amazing to me. How much does he love you? How much does he care about you? The hairs of your head are numbered by God. It's interesting, if next time you see a hair fall out and maybe hit the table in front of you, or maybe there's a hair stuck in your shirt or whatever, that hair has a number. That hair has a number before God. It's number 8,643 for all we know. But it's numbered. All of them are numbered. We should think about that. We should meditate on that and really learn to trust the love of God. He has given us the Old Testament that we, through the patience and comfort of the Scriptures, might have hope. Romans 15 and verse 4, "For whatever things were written before were written for our learning, that we, through the patience and the comfort of the Scriptures, might have hope."